what we thought we'd do this festival is that if you're not already in community, it's time to do it. It's really important that you get your community set up now. So a lot of people in the city, they say, oh, I live in a unit by myself, I don't really know anyone. What can I do? Well, you can be the catalyst that starts the community. Well, it's going into the higher rational mind of it. It's saying, all right, why are we setting up community? The reason behind setting up community is for so long we've been under the assumption that the Australian government is our government. We've been under the assumption that our local council is representing us. We know that that's null and void and that that's not happening. That's been proven scientifically that they are not representing us. So if we want to represent ourselves under the law of the land, we need to establish it. And right now they're in chaos. The Rockefellers and all those dudes, the Rothschilds Bank, everything's collapsed. So right now to set up sovereignty, set up community is it couldn't be a better time in history, where the gods are favouring us. And so what I want to do today was share with you how we went about setting up our community up in Airlie Beach. Just to give you a few tips and ideas and get you thinking and get your questions coming and how you can go forward in it. So what we did was about 14 years ago, we moved onto land in Jubilee Pocket. So people that don't know Airlie, there's like 4 suburbs really. And Jubilee Pocket is one of those. And we're out the back in the mountain range, we're acreage out there. So we're a bit away from the burbs, but we're kind of in the burbs, 4 kilometres from Airlie. So we're kind of in it, And we moved onto this land 14 years ago and there was unregistered buildings on it. Okay, now they're pretty safe. We're in a rainforest, the wind goes, the cyclones go straight over us. It's all gridded crystalline and protected, so we're really protected in cyclones. So none of our buildings are going to hurt anyone. We're fully protected and we build to standard, to strength. We went through Cyclone Debbie. We've got about 6 different abodes that we've built over time. We went through Cyclone Debbie and had very minimal damage compared to houses who rated at cyclone rates. So the main thing with becoming sovereignties is that we do it with safety and integrity. Okay, I don't want to be caretaking a community that's going to hurt the outside community. Why would I do that? They did a study into community and they said that they found the most effective communities, they rated them on how they treated their underdogs. That's how they measured the quality of a community. And so at Gunya community, what we're doing is that everything we do is for everyone. Even though we're the little bubble, in this business corporate, tourist town, and we're just this tiny little bubble, everything we're doing for everyone. Otherwise, what's the point? So the place we started for forming our community was we said, all right, we need a constitution. What are the value system of what we're looking at achieving here? Let's get all on the same page. So let's look at the value system. And so what we thought about it, and we thought, all right, well, with our particular community, we recognise the Aboriginal spirituality of the land. That we're caretakers while we walk in this land. When we're in India, we're walking in the Hindu gods and under Buddhism and Allah and the Jains and whatnot. But while we're on this land, we're walking on one of the oldest pieces of land in this world. And it's got deep spirituality, man, far out. It's only been 250 odd years the invaders have been here. Hasn't been long. And so what we did is we looked at the values and we just condensed it down to 3 values for our constitution, and that is value yourself, value each other, and value your environment. We actually use the words respect. Respect yourself, respect others, and respect your environment. And they're the 3 key parts to our constitution. And then, in the constitution, you can go online and have a look at it. Then we break it down into individual information. Okay, so for the first 3-4 years of the community being established under the Constitution, the universe would send little whirlywinds in, to make us have to look at social communicating and relationship to work out, well, where are our boundaries? Because we're a group of people living on 3 acres. And we've had 22 people live there once. You know, right now I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's six of us, 7, 8, eight of us living there right now. You know, and so the next step was to go, right, well, that person's sitting there on acid all day and they just had to go at the cow because they're coming off it and they're tired now. And the kids have had a great day, but is this what we want? You know, not saying anything wrong with acid or nothing, but you know, it's not gelling. This isn't the harmony we're looking for. So as individuals, we continuously re-look at our constitution. We continuously look at what the universe is showing us that we need to adjust. Yeah. And so the next step was we got a complaint because we were playing lots of drumming and we had, you know, rainbow gatherings coming through and that when we first got established, you know, big party time, we're having a great time. And complaints from the neighbours. And so then the council, you know, starts their little dialogue and says, hey, hang on, what are you guys doing there? You can't live there. You're not registered, you know, what the hell? And you're making noise. And we go, yep, no worries, okay. And so a good mate of ours who isn't, Pete, who's normally here, who a lot of you have heard before, you know, he went about looking into the common law of the situation. And what he came up with was that we were gathering on land. And yeah, we lay our heads down in the council boxes at that moment in time. It was if you slept and lived on the property, which meant sleeping at night on the property, or had a kitchen sink, that meant you were living there. So we thought about removing all the sinks before the council came for their inspection, but it was just too hard. So we went past it into the higher rational mind and said, all right, well, what do we need to show these people who are assuming that they're in charge of us? And we go, right, we want to show them what this land's about so they can feel it. And then they'll know it, because it's not up to us to say it. The land is, we already have recognised the land as our authority. And so what we did is we had a big gathering. We invited all the other communities like Panduranga and Wintermoon and, you know, Ericala at the time in Mackay. We invited all our fellow communities together and we had a big gathering. And so the night before the council guy was coming for the inspection, you know, playing music and fire twirling. We had a music studio set up at that time, you know, just jamming and having a ball, eh? And the next morning, you know, you're having your coffees and the kids are running around chasing each other, people are juggling, and in comes the council guy. He walks in and he goes, "Hooly dooly, what the hell is going on here?" You know, it's like he's walked into a time frame, he's glitching a bit, you know. Lovely fella, Bob Harris was his name. And yeah, we go, oh yeah, well, this is a place of gathering. This is what we do here. We come together, you know, and gather. And he was like, rightio. And he goes, well, who lives here? And we said, oh, we lay our heads down, you know, rest and when required, but meditation's a great tool at providing rest. He's going, rightio. And he goes, and how about these buildings? Are they registered? And we said to him, we said, well, we bought it off a real estate agent called PRD. You probably best ask them, because they're the ones that look after all the legalities. That's not our area. We're here looking after that. And so we never heard from him back again. And then about 5 years, 6 years later, another complaint. Okay, and this is, my kids are getting older now, they're teenagers, in and out, you know, lots of noise. Anyway, this time they said, and they came and they said, well, hang on, you guys, you know, you gotta put some plans into council and get this registered, you know. And we're like writing common law letters back and forth, and we're saying, okay, we accept your conditions that we should be registered, but under what situation? Why do you want this to happen? And they said, for the safety and security of the local community members. And we said, great, fantastic, we want what you want, because that, remember, is the beginning of our community. Whatever we're going to do for everyone. So we're like, great, same page. And they said, right, okay, well, let's get on with this. And at the time, I think I had $4,000. And I said, right, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then I said, all right, well, I got $4,000. What do you want me to do? Spend it on your plans, which is going to take $4,000. Or do you want me to fix up the stuff I know that probably needs a bit of attention first for the safety and security of our local community? And in that situation, they cannot make that choice for you. Otherwise, they are liable for the choice they make. And so in common law, that null and voided that interaction. They can't take it to court because we're conditionally accepting everything they say every time they ask, because, for love, We're not in battle here. We're trying to find a way to live together for the bigger community. And so null and void, and so off they went. And then another few years went past just recently, and it's happened again. You know, some complaint. I think it's a neighbour who's cutting down all these trees, and we're going off at him and energetically psyching him out with his machinery anyway. He doesn't like it. And so he made a complaint. And so this was only a couple of years ago, just before COVID. And this time we were able to say to them, refer to past letters. Because we did not need to start the dialogue again, because where we'd finished up, it was their time in legalities to take the next notice, to go forward. And so that's where we find ourselves in our sovereignty, in our community. And what we're doing now this year is we're going to stop paying our council rates. So the next thing to do is to recognise that when we, for in Airlie, we're giving $2,500 a year for our rates. So it works out about $50 a week. So every time we're giving them that money, they're wasting it. They did the roundabout in Airlie 3 times. And each time it probably cost about $5,000. You know, they've shown themselves transparently to not be operating sufficiently and efficiently in a harmonious way in the greatest good and welfare for our land that we live upon, you know. And so this year what we're going to do is, because we have to transition over to the new way, all right, so we want to set it up differently to the old way, don't we? You know, so when we look at the bigger picture, you know, we go, all right, well, where can we best caretake the land we're living on? And the Gorganga Plains for us is like the kidneys, you could say, the lungs of the waterways that go out into the ocean. Okay, so a lot of cleaning happens in the Gorganga Plains before the water leaves all that cane area and goes into the ocean with all its pollutants. So how about we start there? How about that $2,500 I normally pay in council rates, I go and spend on revegetating the Gorganga Plains with whoever else wants to get involved. And transparently keep every docket I do at first to be transparent, because in the future we want everyone to be transparent. No more tricking people and manipulating them. Let's be responsible, ethical and transparent in all our operations. And so as other community members in Airlie notice that this is working, then they can no longer pay their rates to the council, and they can start responsibly choosing what to do with their rates in their local community. And whilst we may never reach majority in doing this, they can't take us to court, because we will continue to conditionally accept their conditions based on our conditions. And the two laws, the law of the land and the corporate law, they don't mix. It's like trying to mix black and white and get purple or yellow. They don't mix. That's not what's going to happen. And so now's the time, you know, to go forward and form community. If you're living in a unit, with Gunya community, we're actually starting to evolve it into a cyber community. So anyone can join Gunya community that believes the same values. Respect for yourself, respect for each other, respect for the environment. I think what's going to happen in the future, and one of the things the Black Hats are going to do to try and hold the last little tentacles they have, is that they're going to bring in like the Brigalow contract treaty thing that was formed years ago, which in Queensland was that none of us own land, but the government leases the land to us. So everyone here that's got a mortgage that thinks they own land or whatever in Queensland, under the corporate law, under the Brigalow, it's owned by the government and you're leasing it. And at any moment they want to put a highway or something through your land, they have full authority to. So what I'm seeing happening on the Black Hat side is that they're working on having the majority of the land as their, like you could say, gold to back up the power that they're going to hold on to. Because as we start peeling away and showing others that you can live independent of the government here and of the councils here, they're going to start reaching for handholds to hold their power. And that's one of the things I think will happen is land. So if you guys can get together with your mates and buy land together and get on with it, next year we're going to tackle the mortgages. So by Mushroom Valley next year, we should have the pro forma for how to hit up mortgages, which means you can go and buy some land and then we'll common law the mortgage straight up. So they'll only be getting that money to start off with that we'll need to do, and by all of us just chucking it in and getting it back afterwards, it'll be easy. But this is where we're up to in the sovereignty movement, in the community, you know, the ability to live in full integrity, you know, in respect and love of Mother Earth, you know. Yeah. Let's get some comments and questions, and, you know, what do you want to know so you guys can go ahead and do it if you're not already doing it?
How do you have community as a nomad?
As a nomad, we're in the Aquarian age, the internet. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, no, it allows you to tap into like the likes of woofing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's a community.
Yeah.
So you can be a part of the woofing community, and you can use the internet to find the places until you get I don't know if they still do the books or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can do it that way. Everywhere you go, you're in community.
Yeah. Some countries don't have the same kind of communities that they have here.
Yeah, they're going to be different in each country, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Like there's this community in Irian Jaya in the other part of Papua New Guinea, you know, the left side. And what they do in their community is if someone does something wrong, you know, let's say, you know, you beat me up last night, you got a bit out of it and you didn't realise, and, oh, sorry, shame and all that. Well, then I'm not going to come and have a go at you. The whole village is going to come together and surround you and tell you what we love about you.
Oh. Kill you with kindness.
And that's what they do. And here's a big contrast. So another different tribe in that area in Western Area Jaya. If I came and hurt your sister, then you will come and hurt my sister or someone close to my family. And all the families know that's how it works, and that's what happens. I'm not saying any of this is right or wrong. I'm just saying there's lots of different ways to go about community. You know, the next thing we're going to do to our community as well is put an exchange table out the front on our road that we live on, and then with the aim of everyone on our road leaving on the exchange table what they got too much of and taking what they need, but nothing to do with money.
Yeah, goods for goods.
Yeah, and maybe that day you don't have anything to contribute, but you need that. Well, you just take it, don't you?
Yeah, and hopefully tomorrow
The
come
let's,
back with something else.
yeah, the let's. I don't know what people know about barter systems. Has anyone heard of let's? No? Okay, let's. I forget what it stands
Local
for.
energy transfer system.
Do you want to explain it? Do
Uh,
you remember?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, a community, Mulaney's that's probably the best example I know of that have a let system, local energy transfer, where they basically established their own accounting system. They, instead of dollars, they called it bunyas, and I had a directory, and in that directory were the services provided through the system. To date, they've worked okay, but they haven't gone to like full community level. So it's kind of like the poor old plumber was run off his feet and could only, lie down on his tummy for 4 hours a week to get the massages in exchange for his plumbing work, and it was kind of like he was owed, 1,000 massages kind of thing for his the one tradesman and all the other alternative therapists out there. They were all in the let system, and the one poor tradie was, yeah. So, but that's basically how it worked. Was a directory made up of, I have this service that I wish to provide, that I can provide through the local energy transfer. You know, 1 hour of my time is worth 1 bunya, or 1 hour of my time is worth 3 bunyas, and people would just
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I've noticed something similar before in other places. They call them time banks or something.
Ah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be a very
Huh.
similar system.
it's like that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
based on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's, and the interesting thing with lets is that you can go into debt. So like you might not have anything in your account, and then I need a birthday cake for the kids, and I need some clothes for the kids, and I go and spend up that money, those, let's dollars for that. But I don't have to have the money to start with, because in doing that, I'm keeping the system running. So it's based on a different currency system, a different exchange system to how we do it. That you have to have it first to then use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the let system is, well, let's just keep this going. But like Luke said, you really need a diversified group to cover the needs of the people involved.
Diversity is
Yeah, diversity. Yeah. What other questions? Okie dokie. Community living. What else?
I think generally speaking, the internet is going to start, well, has already, but have a very big role in how we understand community and how community can work.
Definitely easier to get the information. Nobody teaches that in school.
Yeah, that's
Not
right.
in Canada.
Yeah.
Like zero. They don't teach you how to take care of the land, how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your friends.
No.
No, the
How to write a resume and get a
Yeah.
job.
But I do believe that is, we're so close to
Breaking free.
the a very new way, and a very
Yeah.
different way of societal structure globally. So a lot of our foundational understandings of things like, there was something went through my little mind when Joe was sort of saying how we're going to stop paying rates, and some people might think, well, how's the council going to build a road if everybody in the municipality stops paying their rates and goes and plants the trees down it? If there was no corruption anywhere through the system, they would have the money to build the road. One of the first things that will probably be presented to us in the new financial system that we're entering into is going to be, you don't have to pay tax anymore. So that's just a little drop in the ocean to start to try to get your head around. There is actually more than enough money for ethical governance. Yeah? It does not need to rely on sweat toil from the people. And it's coming.
And the council's not even a part of the government. They are their own individual identity that we just, I'm not saying, all of us, but
funding from the government. It's like, it applies for grants.
it's a corporate group, it's a business that we choose to give all our money and control it. I mean, this is the awakening. We know it's not true anymore. The next thing will be registration and licensing and so on and so on. But we don't want to go too quick because we still want to maintain a safe community. Because everything we do for everyone. Otherwise, what's the point?
If we go too quick, we'll just repeat ourselves.
Exactly.
And it also needs
Exactly.
to be a gentle transition, because if it changed just like that overnight, well,
Chaos.
anarchy, 80% of people would not have a job.
You can't welcome in everybody.
So it can't be just like boom. It needs to be a gentle, where it's already started. It's already started.
We were told that if you don't pay your rates, by 3 years, we're going to sell the land out from under you to get our money. So how can they do that if they're not?
Under the corporate law, they can do that. As soon as you enter a court of Australia, let's say, then you are going under the assumption of their law. So they can do it because they've got a system set up. They don't mix. Black and white don't make yellow.
How do you get from corporate law, because it's currently paying them rates?
Yep.
How do you get from there to the common law system?
Well, this is what I was saying with the workshop is first of all, you've got to look at your value system and work out your foundation and your ethics and where you're coming from. And as you take the journey, you'll get to the place where you will know the answer to that.
At the current stage, whilst we're still kind of in black hat controlled system, you'd probably, through the common law, what you'd probably have to do is get a certified copy of your deeds, title deeds to your property, write up a document with that document to claim that title as yours, not theirs. Because when you buy a piece of land, you don't, like we were saying before, you don't own the land. All you do is you've got a piece of paper that says you've got lifetime rent on it, basically.
It's not even paper.
It's not even rent.
It's digital now.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to.
Yeah. And so you then need to claim that as yours and not theirs. Because whilst it's still theirs, you're in that system and under all their rules. So you have to claim it as yours.
So how did you claim it as yours?
I haven't gone down that path.
Yeah. This is what we're doing step by step right now, is that we're claiming it.
And I believe it will get easier because that mentality of black hat, ha ha ha, you think you own the land, but all you own is a piece of paper, that is being eroded with ethical influence.
So just start with a little step what you can do and then
Who wanted the toilet?
Yeah, here, leave the microphone. Well, what assumption are you living under? The only reason we pay our telephone bills, our council rates, our blah, 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 is because we're under the assumption when someone hands us a notice, we need to attend to that notice exactly to the letter of what they say. That's only an assumption.
That's an assumption.
If you look into Mark Mercurio, he does a load of work, and Passio, I forget the other names. Anyway, they're down northern New South Wales, and they're really big in the common law movement. There's a high court for common law down in northern New South Wales that you can take people to. You can serve. Well, we can. I'm not sure how it works with taking Queensland stuff into New South Wales, but yeah. Yeah, to find out where.
And again,
Wynn Miller. What's his first name? David Wynn Miller.
David Wynn
Really
Miller.
good to have a look at to understand this better.
Quantum language.
Yeah.
What was his last name, sorry?
Wynn Miller, Wynn, I think, and then Miller, Miller. Yeah. I believe it starts. I'm always coming from a feminine angle. The boys are always coming from a masculine angle. So you know us now enough to know that our flavours are different. For me,
we're perfectly balanced, aren't we?
Yeah. For me, it's like you've really got to feel into it and know what it is to you, to what you're doing, because it's your journey. None of us exist except for you. We're just a fragment of your imagination right now. Yeah.
To get off the grid and out of their control.
Yeah. So start walking under the assumption of what's true to you.
The land, I am the caretaker. It's as simple as that.
they assumed that role, so you have permission to assume any role you wish to at any point in time.
And you know what your true, who your spirit, you know what spirit you're of. You just got to remember. And so you put yourself in the environments that allow you to remember. That's why these gatherings are great.
Oh yeah.
You know, and, you know, being in nature. And yeah, sure enough, taking your ayahuasca, having your trips, you know, taking those DMT journeys. That's why in this aspect, this is where I see the importance of them. You know, as a community, when we established our women's area in our community, there was 5 of us women, and it turned out there was 5 men as well present at the community. And the men actually, we've got a little area because it's men's land where we live, and we were all going to stay up there for the night. So the men, the warriors, brought all the wood for us, and they brought us food, so that all we had to do was sit there and be. And in that journey, as 5 women, we took a trip each together. And we took a shamanic journey into establishing the women's circle in that energy, whilst the 5 warriors kept guard and protected us. And that was amazing, you know, to do it in a group, in, you know, as they do with ayahuasca, you know, with a common shamanic communal intention is quite outstanding, which again is why these are great gatherings, you know, because that's what we're doing, aren't we? Yeah.
Raise it up.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments? I'll just check the time and then we get on. It's getting later on Sunday afternoon, getting tighter. But you get into it, do it. You know, we've got another 3 years of or say 5 years, I suppose, if you want to be real about it. 5 years of chaotic disharmony. So don't get distracted by it. Just stay focused where your higher rational mind needs to be and start walking in that direction. We all are anyway, otherwise we wouldn't be here now. So just confirmation of keep on doing what we're doing. You know, networking, why not use the internet to network? It allows all of us, when we come to these gatherings, to stay in contact, you know, and keep the connections running. I've got a bit of a dream for next year. It's at this time next year, we gather on this land, just this bottom part, and we just have workshops. We get, you know, like Santos Bonacci and Diva Pramau and Mitten, and get these amazing, you know, presenters up here, and we just have a spiritual gathering. You know, we cook food together, we clean together, you know, we give Nat and Ben some money towards the land, you know, using the land, you know, a bit of money here and there just to cover, you know, getting these amazing teachers up. You know, we do astrology courses. We have a whole week. We've got 7 days. We can do every day. We've got an astrology course going. And what do? We all come and do what we do best. You know, can we achieve this? Can we just rock up on a certain date and work it out from there? Yeah, we can. Yeah, there's going to be, you know, discourse and disharmony and things to work out, but that's what it's about. So we don't get to eat for 7 hours because we haven't worked it all out properly. Oh well, do it together. You know, I know we're ready for it. I wouldn't be putting it out there if I didn't think we were. Okay, so